Hey, I am Melissa Mintz. I am your Microsoft 365 and Azure Customer Success Manager here at Champion and MessageOps. In case you're not familiar, MessageOps is the cloud business unit of Champion Solutions Group. We're in the top 50 of Microsoft partners and the top 3 in cloud solution providers in the South Florida Journal recently, so pretty cool shout out there. But I'm here to make sure that your Microsoft 365 and Azure investment and you're taking advantage of it, and also taking advantage of the full suite of value-added MessageOps software and services. So I'm your promise keeper here. So like if any questions come up or concerns come up or whatnot, definitely don't be shy. Reach out to me and I'll, either answer the question for you or point you in the right direction. And everything that I'll show you on today's demo, I'll recap in an email as well, Chris and Nick, so this way you can kick the tires after the call. Support. So here's the ways you can access our 24/7 support. We have our 877 number up at the top. 1 is for technical support, 2 for sales, 3 for billing. If you do need to open up a support ticket, the global administrator for the tenant needs to do that. And to do so, just email support@championsg.com. And that will open up a ticket with our CSP help desk. And if you have any questions that you think I can help with, definitely don't be shy and reach out to me at my personal address. Any comments, questions, concerns so far?
Nope, I think we're good here.
Perfect. And I'm also, after the call in another email, I'm going to send you the CSP entitlements document. And that will simply just outline what the CSP help desk can cover, what isn't covered, and who can open up a ticket. So this way, in case you have deeper questions on support and how that works, that will give you the lay of the land. So now that you're a MessageOps CSP, what's next for your Microsoft 365 licenses? I don't know if this is applicable for you guys since you are having another organization migrate your licenses. So this is just a slide that we like to have and present to our new clients that we've onboarded in case they're coming over from another provider to ensure they cancel their licenses, their reseller relationships, to make sure that they don't get double billed. So that you guys are currently having that handled with a third party there. So just wanted to quickly go over that one. So all of our one-of-kind Microsoft 365 and Azure value-added services are now all under one roof. That is Inkscape. So Inkscape is our big umbrella. This is where you can manage your licenses, assign your licenses. Your account info will give you your financial snapshot where you can look at your CSP invoice trend, access invoices, and download invoice details. The managed tile, which is formerly Inkscape 365, that's going to provide you Microsoft 365 management. It's going to give you reports, and it's also going to give you cost management and security things to bring top of mind. So in case you want to improve your security posture, there's a lot of information there to help you along the way. There's an onboarding and offboarding wizard within that too. So if you guys are hiring and or firing people, this will walk you through the processes of that. And then, of course, you have access to the adoption tile. So again, if you guys are brand new to Office 365 or maybe not, the adoption platform may be of use for you to, help with adoption and change management, learn something new with Teams, as well as the support butler within that will answer any internal help desk questions and cut down on tickets for you guys. Productivity Insights is another one of our tools that is included in the platform for you. This will help you monitor your remote employee productivity with Teams and Outlook data, spot trends, and also help you identify training opportunities. Azure, another tile on Inkscape is Azure Spending and Azure Recommendations. These both require Azure subscriptions. The Azure Spending will allow you to analyze your Azure cost management and see the cost by resource, by service, daily costs, etc. And that dovetails to the Azure Recommendations tile, which will allow you to view, download recommendation reports on the high availability, security, performance, and cost savings. So those really dovetail nicely into each other and kind of also segue nicely into our Azure Glide Path services. In case you guys are looking to move all into the cloud, just wanting, to let you know that, that's one of the offerings we have to help, guide you on your journey through Azure. And then, of course, Team Captain. So if you guys are leveraging Teams, we've developed team captains to not only assist with the governance and security around Teams, but also help combat sprawl. So this may be a tool that you may want to check out during the call, register for that and start kicking the tires on this. And then you'll see tiles that are labeled optional. So these are things that would incur a separate cost outside of what your CSP spend is. So that would be the training site. So if you guys perhaps are looking for ways to train on the Office 365 content, this has over 2,500 snackable training videos, quizzes, assignments, quick start guides. That's 99 cents per user per month. There's also Exchange Online Backup and Restore. So this is a continuous real-time backup of just Exchange Online. So that may be of interest to you. If not, there's other backup solutions that we can, help you out with, including, our Skykick solution, which can back up Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, groups, etc. And then, of course, ADP Workforce Now. So if this is something you are leveraging internally, we can also assist with seamlessly connecting that with your Microsoft 365 environment. And we have a couple of subject matter experts that can hop on a call should that be of interest to you. So without further ado, this is what the current iteration of the Inscape platform looks like. So you'll see the licenses tile, the assign tile, account info tile. Also want to make sure you gentlemen are aware that in addition to the Inscape platform, now that you're a CSP, you get, access to our blogs, our technical tips, our newsletters that we send out to the community, as well as our MessageOps events, whether they're in-person events when those are able to be happening, or our webinars that take place. These are all additional things that, you have access to as well. So before we take a tour, again, knowing how big Teams is because of the current situation and also how big it is with Microsoft, in case you guys are looking for further guidance around Teams or training around Teams, just want to make sure that you're aware, our CIEs that we have, our simple starts that we have, and other sorts of, trainings that we can, provide to you in case you are looking to, become more educated on Teams and better leverage, all of the functionality within Microsoft Teams. All right, so just a quick high level on our SharePoint solutions too, just for information overload and not making sure you guys don't go crazy there. But we developed Sequoia. These are our SharePoint productivity suite. So these are SharePoint templates that we would deploy into your SharePoint environment, which would not only allow you to light up your SharePoint workload, but also these are tools that we've developed to help with centralizing of content, streamlining communication, and fostering collaboration. So if you guys at any point want a deeper dive on Root, which is the intranet we developed, Crown, which is the LMS that we've developed, Vine, which is for contract, asset, and warranty maintenance, or Branch, which is for onboarding and offboarding and a departmental workflow. So just let me know and I'd be happy to set up a subsequent call and demonstrate the full functionality of these SharePoint items. And then, of course, let you know about the ADP Workforce Now, Team Captain, our Skykick solution for backup, Azure Glide Path, and then, of course, our signature support. So this would provide you, extra buckets of hours for things that may be, deemed on-prem that the help desk can't cover. So just want to make sure that you guys are aware of our signature support, as well as all the, consulting, migration, EMS work that we do as well. Any comments, questions, or concerns before I jump into the platform?
Looks good here. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so if you haven't started taking a look at this, this is the Inscape platform. Here is the URL up at the top. You can notice I'm logged in with my Office 365 credentials. It's leveraging Azure single sign-on and Active Directory. The little waffle icon here is just another way to navigate around the platform, so I just wanted to point that out. Also wanted to point out that there is some role-based access built in here. The little gear icon is your global access control. So here's where you could come in and assign particular users specific access to the tiles, because you may not want everybody having access to the licensing tile, because obviously that will have implications on your billing. But here's where you could come in and add a user. So if I wanted to give somebody access to, my, adoption tile or the team captain tile, I could select whatever tiles I want him or her to have access to, type in, their name. This will pull from your organization's, Active Directory, select his or her name, hit add, and then that person would then have access to whatever tiles that you've selected here with the check boxes. Another thing I like to point out in these demonstrations, cost management. This is big not only for us, but also in helping save our customers money. The little alert icon up at the top here, you'll notice has a little 3 next to this. This is just alerting us or alerting you if there's any unassigned licenses. So this way it's front and center to you, so you can either go and assign those licenses, or if they're no needed, you can come in here and go and, get rid of the licenses and save yourself whatever the monthly spend is. So just like to point that out, in case you see that up in your instance of Inkscape, this is all to help with cost management. So it's front and center. Hey, we've got, unassigned Exchange Online kiosks, and that will prompt you to assign them or get rid of them or whatever you need to do. Licenses. So hopefully once you're all, migrated, Microsoft licenses would where you'd be to go to edit your licenses, whether you need to increase the quantity, decrease the quantity, or suspend the licenses. This is just our little demo site here, so you can see, what we have going in here. If there are licenses, guys, that are available to be assigned, you'll see it in blue, and you could click on that, and that will allow you to go and assign the licenses. It also says it here, 1 license available. If there are no licenses available, you'll see it's grayed out and it will say 0. You have the ID number, you have when it's the license auto renews and what the status is. And then if you needed to edit an existing license, so if I needed to, edit the Exchange Online Plan 2, if you click on the blue name there, that will take you to the edit screen. So you can edit any one of these existing subscriptions. So whether you need to, increase the quantity, so you could type in the new number or use the up and down arrows, decrease the quantity, or if you need to deactivate a subscription, if you toggle the active button to the left, that will immediately suspend the license and billing will stop immediately for that. So if you no longer needed it, and then it stays in your tenant for 30, 60, 90 days, that's contingent on when Microsoft refreshes, but that's how you would suspend a license. So you just toggle that to the left. And then you'll notice for existing licenses or even adding new licenses, you'll see the add-ons. So just be cognizant when you're coming in here, you'll be able to see particular add-ons for licenses. So this one you can add, Microsoft Defender here, or I can add, Microsoft Defender Plan 2 here. And so whatever changes you make, hit terms and conditions, hit update, and then those changes would be made in real time. Conversely, if you needed to add a brand new shop license, you would go to shop licenses on the left. And this will allow you to come in and add a brand new subscription. Any questions as we move along here?
It's good.
All good. Okay, so currently these are all the solutions. You can, use the pagination at the bottom to, scroll through. You can also filter. So if you're looking for, Azure licensing, I could filter by Azure. If I want to, filter by trial, this will show me all of the licenses that are available for a trial. So just want to point out the filters. And also you can search. So if I'm looking for a Microsoft SKU because I want, Windows, 10 with it, here I type in Microsoft. I want the E3. You'll see that there's a description of what is included in that SKU. There's the ID and what the cost is. The system does the math for you. So as I increase the quantity, the price goes up. As I decrease the quantity, the price goes down. We then click next and we take you to a confirmation screen. The confirmation screen is just to ensure that this is the license you want, the quantity that you want it at, and then that's the price. I would hit terms and conditions, hit submit, and then that license would be added to your tenant. It may take like 10, 15 minutes to show up there, but pretty much in real time. Also want to point out user roles is also where you can add access to that particular Microsoft licensing tile, or for any of the tiles, the user roles is where you can grant access to that tile. Your assign licenses. So here's where eventually once you're all migrated, you'll be able to come in and assign your licenses. Graphically, again, to help with cost management, we like to have, listed up here what licenses are available versus what's not. So you're not going out and spending money on a brand new subscription when you don't have to. So if this will show you what's available versus what's assigned. So once this is finishing rendering, you'll be able to see your users within your Active Directory. So I apologize for my lag in my connectivity here, but this should finish loading. So here you go. So here this will pull from your Active Directory. You can export this page, export all pages, and then you could see, you know, the licenses that are assigned to a particular individual. If I click edit, that will allow me to edit Alexander's information. So if I need to change his email address, update his last name, or even elevate his permissions, here's where I can, you know, update that information. I could use the radio button and, you know, change his permissions or delete the user. So pretty intuitive and pretty user-friendly. The button to the right of that is where you can actually come in and assign the licenses to the individual that you need to assign the license to. So once this is again finished rendering, I'll show you that. Okay, so manage licenses. So I click on that and this will show you what's available. So anything that's available obviously will have a number. Obviously say, you know, show what's assigned, what's not assigned. So if I needed to give Alexander, you know, the Microsoft 365 Business Premium, you see that says 20. Once I click that, that's going to go down to 19 because I'm going to give him the license. Also want to make sure you're aware the view service plans is where you can control what add-ons are rolled out with that particular SKU. So if I click that, here you as the administrator can control what is rolled out by checking or unchecking any of these checkboxes. Maybe you don't want him to have whiteboard, so you would simply deselect that. And then you would click save, and then that particular license would then be assigned to Alexander. Pretty simple. Next to that, you have your account in. Hey, yes.
Hey, I actually have a quick question because I was looking in this portal yesterday. So
Yes.
what about products that aren't necessarily assigned to a user? Like I saw that you guys offer, like just for example, Microsoft SQL Server. So you're just a license portal for
Yeah, you could. We have Azure, so you can control your Azure subscriptions here too, and also
right.
software subscriptions like Cal licenses and SQL licenses. There's
I
some
gotcha.
things
So
that may, yeah, there's some licenses that aren't quote unquote CSP that you would have to reach out to, you know, your client manager and we, you know, help you out with. But for the most part, yeah, your software subscriptions you can manage here and your Azure subscriptions you can manage here as well.
Gotcha. So if I bought Microsoft SQL Server from you, I would get a standard key for a VM that we have here. It's not actually going to buy us like an Azure VM with Microsoft SQL, correct? Like you sell a la carte software in there as well?
I believe so. I will triple check that out again. I'm not the licensing expert, but if you want to just put that in a quick note and I will follow up with the licensing team on that specifically. But yeah, you can, you know, manage your, you know, your Azure licenses here. I click Azure plan, that will show you how you can edit that particular Azure plan we have in our development site or, you know, my dev site here. So here you can say I can activate it here. I can, you know, add products, etc.
Awesome.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. The account info you may like to look at too. This will give you a financial snapshot so you can see, you know, what your spend is for Microsoft licensing, Azure reservation instances. So here you'll see your cost by service, which is really cool. So here you could see what you would be spending with Azure, Office 365, with Inkscape, if you decide to use a backup solution, et cetera, et cetera. So that's all graphically here. You can, you know, use the filters here to, you know, filter and splice this however, you know, you need to. Again, you can see it graphically up at the top here, cost by month on some of the services. Microsoft will show you what your spend is for Azure Active Directory and F1 license. So really to give you, you know, great insights into what your, you know, your spend is so that you can, you know, make heads or tails of, you know, whether you need to decrease things or increase things and, you know, give you great insights. Here you'd be able to see your Azure spend. So if you have the right Azure licensing, you'll be able to see your total cost, you know, per month. By product, so by virtual machine, by SQL, by Azure Blob Storage, you'll be able to take a look at that and see what your spend is. Same thing for Azure reservation services. I don't have the right licenses, but you get that. Software, same thing. So if you had any SQL or, you know, RCal licenses or anything like that, that's where you'd be able to see the cost associated with that, as well as anything that you may have purchased in the marketplace. Conversely, you can take a look at your PDF history here too. So if you guys need to come back and take a look at a PDF of your invoice, you click PDF invoice history and you can click PDF and you'll be able to download the invoice and take a look at that. Your billing information area, although this is not tied into a payment system, you can come in and at least update your billing information. So if you need to update where your billing address is, you can come in here and do that. And you also have the ability to add up to 5 addresses to receive the emailed invoices from MessageOps and Champion. So if you needed to add additional people that you want to get the emailed invoices, you would just click the little plus sign there, and type in the name of, the person that you want to receive the email. It would, type in from your Active Directory, hit save, and then that person or persons that you've added would then receive the invoices. So there's a lot of great information here and helping with cost savings. Your Azure cost review, again, you would need Azure subscriptions for this, but you'd be able to see your cost, by resource, by daily cost, by service. And then there's a ton of details here with you could really get granular and really see what your spend is. So if I click the filters here on the right-hand side, you could, really get granular on how you take a look at what your Azure spend is going on. So you could see your product order, you could filter by location, you could filter by charge type. There's a lot of ways to skin the cat to really take a deep dive into what your Azure spend is. I don't have the right licensing because this is my demo account, but I think you kind of get the gist of the type of information that you would see here that would, help you, with saving money as far as, your Azure consumption is concerned. And that, again, dovetails nicely into your Azure recommendations, which, again, would provide, insights into costs, improving your security posture, as well as improving, your performance. Manage. So this is formerly Inkscape 365. So there's a lot of powerful information in here. So not only, security and cost management and user usage, but also it's great for the Office 365, administrator. This can help, save time on reports. There's over 100 and something reports in here. So just want to, make sure you're aware of that. So you got your user management dashboard. If you guys haven't signed up for this on the dashboard here, definitely click on that and register. You'll be able to see who's got full send as permissions. And for any one of these, you can see a detailed log or report. That's good for security reasons. You'll be able to see any mailboxes that have litigation hold or anybody that's forwarding mailboxes outside of the organization. And again, I could see a detailed log or report. Any deleted users. Then you can see your mail traffic. This is good to take a look at. If you see a spike, maybe there's, some issue with spam or malware going on. And then all of these areas here for under Office 365 stats are clickable. So you can come in here and see your total mailboxes. You could click to see whose mailbox is on lit hold. And again, for cost savings, mailbox is not accessed. This is another information here that we put in so that this will help you save money. So if there's a mailbox not used in 30, 60, or 90 days, that may prompt you to get rid of the license associated with it. So you save a couple of bucks on that. You tap 10 mailboxes. You could see mailboxes above your quotas. This is maybe good to look at in case, you need to increase your mailbox quota or put something in archive. Your total global admins. I could come in here and see, who the global admins are and what department they're associated with. Then you got your security management. So here's, a lot of insights to help improve your security posture. This will tell you your organization's secure score. And depending upon what that number is, that may prompt you to, add AIP or add, ATP or add multi-factor authentication or whatever the case may be to help improve that number for you and your organization. So here you can, see some of the data and metrics here for our organization and our dev site. Your Azure AD identity risk events, you could see things like impossible travel risks. So, if Joe's logging in, from Miami and then 30 seconds later he's logging in from Boca, is that really Joe, or should we look further and see if there's something nefarious going on? You'll be able to see if anybody's, trying to mask their IP address. And then, of course, the unfamiliar location risk event. Is this really Joe logging in from Los Angeles, California, or his account been, spoofed or compromised in any way? So there's a lot of great information here. Also, getting back to multi-factor. Here you can take a look within your organization and who's got MFA enabled versus who's got it disabled. And again, the ellipsis will allow you to grab a report on the fly or see a detailed log. You'll also be able to see who's forwarding mail externally outside of your domain. That may be great to know for security reasons as well, to find out why they may be doing that. as well as, passwords, who's got one set to never expire, who's got a strong password, etc. And again, for any one of these things, you could grab a report or a log. Cost management, another, important piece for us, is giving you insights into how you could possibly, save money and, have license optimization. So here you can come and see your total license cost, what the quantity is, what the total is. You could see your organization's unsigned license cost. So you can see what the quantity is that's unassigned, what the cost is. So here's where you can take a look at and really see, if you can get rid of those licenses and save yourself, money on licenses that are not assigned. Same thing for your licenses percentages assigned. Again, graphically, you can see what's consumed versus what's not consumed. And you can take a look at that graphically there, or see a detailed log or grab a report. And license and active users, 30, 90 days. Again, if there was anybody listed here for that, that means they haven't, used anything in those amount of time. So maybe you want to get rid of the licenses for that. So these are just some ways and highlights to give you, this isn't your invoice per se, but these are all tools that you can use to help save money on licensing and your spend. I'm including your assigned license cost by filter. So here you can come in, filter by department, select the particular, department. So if I select engineering, you'll be able to see within your organization what the license is, what the quantities, see that there's only one assigned, what the cost is, and that will again provide you insights into saving money on not spending licensing on unassigned licenses, as well as for blocked users. So here you can, hey, this guy's blocked and she's blocked. Maybe they're not with the organizations anymore. Let's go ahead and remove licenses for Jim and for Carol, respectively. Let's see, reporting. If you're the Office 365 report, administrator, we have reporting built in here. So these, reports are already built, so you don't have to, reinvent the wheel and recreate these in Excel or go from portal to portal. You have a ton of categories here already and a ton of reports in here. If you want to come and look at your Office 365 activity, you'll see your activity detail as just an example. So you can see how active somebody is being. So this was a client request for productivity. So you can see how many calls they've made, team messages, etc. And for any one of these reports, guys, in the system, you can set it and forget it with scheduling, or you can download it as a CSV, Excel, or PDF. So there's a ton of information in here. This is just one, report. You can favorite this to a personal favorite or add it to a tenant, or I can click the ellipses to execute the report on the fly or schedule it. A lot of information here for you, including, reports on licensing, mail traffic, Teams activity. So if you want to see what your Teams activity is, you can see how productive people are being. Your
Hey, Melissa, it's Chris. Quick question for you.
Sure.
Going back to some of that geo blocking, the security stuff. Is that something that Inkscape is providing based on what we purchased from them? I thought that functionality was required the license from Microsoft. What is it?
Yeah, for the Azure stuff here, you will need an Azure subscription to leverage the Azure AD identity risks. I'm not sure if it's the Azure Premium P1 or the P2 that you need, but there are particular Azure licenses that you would need to leverage the Azure AD identity risks. And just so you guys are familiar, I'm not sure if you're on a hybrid environment or strictly cloud environment, but the managed tile or 365 is completely cloud-based at this moment in time. We're still working on the hybrid thing, so this may work a little bit differently for you guys if you are in a hybrid environment, but this is all, leveraging Microsoft's Graph API and stuff is running in the background, but you would need the Azure subscriptions to leverage things like the Azure Identity Risks events.
Got it. Okay. I just wanted to clarify. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Office 365. So you got your, here, I'm just going to high level this, but, your user listing. So here you can take a look and see who's licensed, who's got passwords, filter by password status. You can even filter by member type. So if you want to, filter by guest, that's a new request. You could run a report. You can add a new user. If I click on Robin's name, just as an example, this will allow me to, update her account properties. You can add permissions for Robin on another mailbox, or I can see if anybody has permissions on Robin's mailbox. And if you click add more, that will allow you to add more. So I can give somebody permissions to her mailbox, or I could give, Robin permissions to another mailbox here. So I can, type in the mailbox that I want her to have, access to, and then determine, what kind of permissions she needs. And if she needs send as permissions, I can do that as well. Hit save, and then she would have access to that mailbox. You can see if she's got mailbox forwarding set up, and I can see that she does, what her mobile device usage is, if she had a mobile device associated with this, as well as her mail storage, street address, and all of that fun stuff. You'll see your membership. You can hit any groups, and she can add one on the fly here. Her user activity. So here I can see her mailbox traffic history. Again, good to take a look at in case there's a spike, maybe there's a spam or malware issue going on. Mailbox properties. Exchange settings, again, so you guys can determine who's got access to OWA, who's got access to POP mail. You can, enable litigation hold, enable archiving just with the toggling of the buttons here. Licenses, I can add or remove licenses right from here. And then another new feature that we just recently rolled out is the out of office response. So here you can come in here and send out automatic responses, out of office responses, and stylize it with the editor. So just wanted to let you know that's pretty new. Modify user will allow me to, update her information. Reset her password will allow you, with these options to reset her password. And then the option area here will, again, give you the option to reset her password, change her username, set up mailbox forwarding, convert her mailbox, or kick off a PST. So if I wanted to kick off a PST, I would click that, and then this would go to our default storage location, or you can configure this to go to Azure Blob Storage. So those are the options at the moment. So if you click Export PST, you would then be able to track the status of that PST up in the PST export area here. So this is like a dashboard. So you can track, the export, who requested it, the start time, the completed date, the file size, and then the ellipsis here will give you the options to discard it, retry, or download it. I just wanted to point out, how you can do that as well. So again, that's all under the Office 365 user area. Server maps. So again, if you guys need to show that your mailbox locations are within the continental United States for, compliance, GDPR, or, HIPAA issues, here you can see where your mailbox locations are. And if I scroll down and click the little icon here, this will actually show me whose mailbox is in a particular location and what the item count is, what the mailbox size is. You can take a look at that. Your activity dashboard. So this is rather new. So here you would be able to see your organization's user activity by team call, by team chat, etc. And again, you can, see a report or get a detailed log. You can see your products percentage used. Again, this is another cost savings thing to take a look at. You could see what your license count is for Exchange, what's used, what's unused, etc. And you could filter by last 7 days, 30 days, last month, or year to date. Teams activity, again, you can, track by chat, private chat, call, meeting, how many, licensed users you have, etc. By device, monthly usage, etc. Mail traffic, again, you could take a look and see what the good mail is, what the good is out. Here you can come in and see any, malware or coming in or any spam. And you could show the 50, 20, 150, 250, depending upon what you want to see there. So again, good for security. Reporting I showed you. User management. So here's your onboarding and offboarding wizard. So here the provisioning wizard will click you through and take you step by step through onboarding somebody through your organization. So it walks you through the steps. You can leverage our template system here. If you click the templates, so if you're onboarding a lot of people from one department, rather than having to recreate the wheel, you can, create a template, and that would pre-populate these fields here. You'd have all the, client access methods, in place, all the Exchange properties in place, all of the mailbox information set up. Here's where you can add this particular group or department to a distribution group. Give them access to a shared mailbox, give them access to a particular team. Again, here's where you could add permissions on a mailbox. Here's where you can now assign licenses. So this is brand new. So now when you're onboarding a bunch of people from a department, now you can come and assign them a particular license or licenses that are available. So again, we just added this feature into the templating system and then hit finish, and then that template was updated, and you can leverage that. And conversely, if you were letting somebody go or if they were leaving, the deprovisioning wizard would walk you through offboarding them so that you reset the password, you lock down their mailbox, you set up mailbox forwarding, whatever the case may be, and again, in a very linear fashion. So that's the manage tile. If you haven't, clicked on that and registered, definitely, start leveraging that. It's a great, great tool included in the Inscape platform. You also got the adoption platform. So this is, again, will address dual challenges with change management and adoption. So there's, quick start guides, there's videos, there's, the use case scenarios here. Another great component of this adoption platform is the support butler. We developed this to cut down on help desk tickets. So guys, if you happen to get a lot of internal tickets, maybe this is something to point your people to. So come in and ask a question, find my solution. Here you can click on, assign the color, change the background. So any one of these you can, click on and take a deeper dive. Great, resolve my issue. No, I want to start over and ask something different, or I really need help. Click have help desk contact me, and then this will get routed to whomever you have set up in the settings area here. We'll then get that email, so you can determine who can handle these, inquiries that come in. You could change the time zone, and then you as the administrator can determine what content is visible versus what's not visible, just with the click of a button. Another great component of this is the tips and tricks. So you can have the tips and tricks mailed out on any of these, subject matter. Again, you could determine what's sent or what's not sent, monthly or biweekly. And then you can add up to 6 people to receive them. So if you click, add new email address, this will allow you to add, a new, email address to receive the tips and tricks that go out either monthly or biweekly. Another thing I wanted to point out, Help Center. So, if you're looking for more information on any of the, Microsoft applications, you can come here. If you're looking for information on Teams, there's a plethora of videos and useful links. And then also, if you're looking for a little more insight into the Microsoft, SKU, maybe you want to know more about the security components, maybe you want to know more about the Windows 10 component. There's a bunch of information here right in this portal that, will help, hopefully answer any questions on the MSKU for you. All right, I showed you team recommendations, team captain. So this is also available to you. So if you guys are using Teams, this is great to help with governance and also combat sprawl with teams, because, maybe people don't know when they're creating teams what's going on in the background, creating groups and distribution groups and all of this. So this is going to help, combat that. So here you can see, your active teams, what's, inactive, what's your team privacy. If you got any external links that are still out there, this is great to know for security reasons in case you want to, stop sharing anything externally, who your users are, if they're internal or their guests. Again, you may want to know that for security. What's an orphaned account? That's a team that hasn't been used in 30, 60, or 90 days. That's what we term as orphaned. And then you could see, what's been archived, what's being monitored. So here, if I click on, my CSG corporate team, this will allow you to put in, or enable monitoring. So if I toggle this on, I will, enable monitoring. I can export the members. I can archive this team. If Robin should leave the organization, just as an example, I can promote her boss, Lisa, to be the owner of this team. So this team doesn't languish without an owner and become an orphan team. Or I can add an owner with the click of a button. So here you can see what the, activity is, when monitoring was enabled or if it was enabled, and the last review date. And also you can see the members associated with this particular team as well as the apps used with this team. Teams on the left-hand side will show you all of your teams, what's being monitored, what the apps use, what departments associated with it. And unlike anything what Microsoft is doing, we've put in these filters so you could really, take a deep dive into your team's environment and, filter by what's orphan, filter by who is guests, filter by what's, public versus private. So there's a lot of great filters that you could really take a deep dive and really take a granular look into your team's environment to help you, with your security posture in and around Teams as well as its governance. Your metrics. So this will show you your organization's metrics around your team's usage. Again, this will not only help, with costs, but it would also, help you, spot any opportunities for, Teams training. Maybe you'll come in here and, you'll see somebody that's just using Teams for chat, and that may prompt you to be like, hey, let's get some training on, Teams meetings or live broadcast or whatever the case may be. So you can, filter by display name, you can filter by UPN, you can also filter by department. So if I, had the right, metrics here, you'd be able to see, see that. I don't have the right licensings for this, but Teams devices. So here you can, again, see what your Teams devices usage is by device. You could see what your users usage is. So you can come in here and see, what their last Teams activity is. Again, great to see how productive people are or not productive are. Also spot training opportunities. You can filter this. You can, focus, change the focus, as well as, there's some more options there for you. Your settings. So you as the administrator can come in, and here's where you can, enable auto monitoring. You could also set up automatic archiving, and you could determine how many days that will happen. And then here's where you can set up your owner policies, what's inactive. This could be, 20 days, this could be 30 days, whatever, you want it to be. You can set up and have control of your owner policies as far as inactivity, snooze emails, as well as externally sharing of links. So you could determine when those links are no longer good. Also, we've added SendGrid. So we've tied the SendGrid API into this. So this way, any notifications that comes from Team Captain won't prompt people to think that if they see a link in it, that it's a nefarious email. This way you could come in and leverage SendGrid and stylize the email so people know that it is okay to click on the link and take whatever action may be recommended. So that's Team Captain. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, and then we've got our 365 productivity insights. So guys, if you're interested in tracking your remote workforce productivity, this is another tool inside Enscape that is available to you. So here you'd be able to take a look, again, and see what your email activity is, who's got the most inbound or outbound activity, what your mail traffic flow is. So you can, see by user here. You can see what's been sent, what's been received, what's been read. I could see what my team's activity is. Again, you can, see by the top 10 most teams usage activity, by, chat, by meetings, by calls. I can see by devices. And I can also see, my exchange usage. So I can see, when's Eric's, last mail sent, what's been received, what's been read. Again, so you can really have an eye on, your remote workforce productivity. So that's all available to you. You could also, print this. You could see a full screen. You could reload the data, and then, of course, you can, change the date range so you could see whatever metrics you need to. These items listed as optional, or again, are optional items that would incur a separate cost. Workforce Now integration, the Exchange Online backup that just backs up your Exchange Online, and then, of course, training. So training, again, is just the Office 365 suite, but you got, Windows 10 courses. And again, these are, you could do the training at your own leisure. You don't have to sit down and, do this all in one shot, but you can learn everything from Stream to Yammer to Microsoft Bookings to multi-factor authentication or Flow, Power Automate. If you click on any one of these, you can see all of the courses, and you could take them, at any given time. You could share them, take a quiz, download any of the guides that's here, and then the dashboard. So the dashboard, you can take a look at your activity graph, your return on investments, see how you're saving costs as well as time, as well as increasing skill. So these things are all available. There's new courses here. The top courses is Teams, what's new in Office, et cetera, et cetera. So comments, questions, or concerns, anyone, before I give you some time back in your morning? I know you all are busy today.
No, we're good. Thanks.
Okay. Right. If with that, I'll give you some time back. I appreciate the business. Thank you so much for your time today. Landon, was there anything you wanted to dovetail on before I let you guys go, and I'll shoot out the recap email?
Nope, I think you've covered everything. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you guys very much. My pleasure to be able to help. And if any questions, comments, or concerns do come up, please don't be shy. Reach out to me or Landon or Joe, and we'd be more than happy to help you.
Perfect. Thanks so much for your time, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Take care.
everyone.
Thank you.